Thank you, Dennis. Hi, everyone. My name is Jason Sugimoto. Today, I would like to talk about how to communicate with Japanese. Before we start, I would like to explain myself a little bit. I grew up in Japan. My father's Japanese. I went through Japanese schools all my life, so I know a little bit of Japanese ways of speaking, or how to communicate. So, let me explain from what they rely on most. Compared to verbal communication, Japanese rely on nonverbal communication. They prefer to read, absorb other people, then verbally. They believe that verbal communication can be manipulated. Um, they use the verbal communication as a reference to the nonverbal communication. What they do is they absorb you. They understand. They try to understand who you are by reading your body gestures, your face expressions, your tone of voice. These little signs that you may show. That's how they understand who you are. That's how they understand what you're thinking. Whatever you say doesn't mean 100% to them. They basically think from the beginning that you're not speaking the truth. Whatever you do with your body is a real answer for them. That's how Japanese communicates each other. Because of that, a lot of foreigners tend to have problems in Japan because Japanese expect you to communicate with body language. It means less words. So how do you understand each other? If you're a new guy there or a new person there, you won't be much of understanding each other. You're going to have to adapt the ways of how Japanese communicate, which is absorbing each other by nonverbal. Another thing a lot of Japanese like to focus on is that you are showing respect. A lot of people in Japan, they have a meeting, conference, talking about business or regardless of business or personal life. When you're in some situation, a lot of people want you to see that you're showing you are putting efforts to understand what they're trying to say. A good example would be like if you're in a business meeting, it would be a good idea to bring a note and a pen and write down whatever you're talking about. This little gesture shows you that you're into what they're talking about, very interested, and then you're taking responsibility. Little things like that. It's very similar to military culture. I could say that it's really it's more disciplined than the military. The Japanese culture is very disciplined that you can relate it to military culture. Now, a lot of foreigners use verbal communication, as you know. They expect you to speak 100% on what you're trying to say, but the Japanese only want you to speak less. They want you to speak less, and the rest they'll figure it out. How? It's the body language, the outlines you provided, those main key points that you provided. That's how they're going to understand how to take care of business. And they want you to do the same. They want you to speak less, and they want to speak less. So how do you understand each other? The best way for a foreigner that's starting in Japan is to always ask for follow-up questions. Follow-up questions can be more asking like, hey, please, can you explain to me more in depth? Can you help me on this? Asking more questions is the best way. The Japanese are not going to say no to you. If you have any questions, they will answer. But if you do not ask any questions, they expect you to do the work, and they assume that you understood what they're talking about. So those are the basics. As long as you follow those, you should be fine. Christopher Lloyd will be the next speaker. He will be talking about cultural business norms. All right, Chris, your turn.